So it's time for the research paper. And if you don't want this result when your kids turn in their papers, I'm going to suggest you think about using NoodleTools, the note cards inside NoodleTools. Because really, good note cards do make a great paper. We started this with a final research project in English. The teacher wanted to move away from the paper note cards to an electronic format. So prior to them even starting research, we introduced them to NoodleTools. Now, most kids in our district do know what NoodleTools are, and they've made bibliographies off of them. But we wanted to take it a step further and create note cards from the bibliography and then merge those into an outline and then write their paper. It did appeal to kids based on the idea that it comes with multiple strategies to attack the paper, and it also uses digital tools. This is your typical bibliography screen from NoodleTools. You can see that typically what you see is the citation, but you can also, if you look over to the right, you'll see that there's also note cards that have been created with each citation. When you manage your project, it starts on a dashboard, and on that dashboard, you can see the components, which is your works cited bibliography page, the note cards and outline, and the paper that you can create in Google Docs. And that link up there, if you click that, shows you all the work that you've done for your bibliography. It's also nice to start your research project with having reminders inside the dashboard so they remember when things are due. They can share their project with you through a NoodleTools Dropbox, not a regular Dropbox. You can also share with them links to assignments, calendars, and notes. And if you want them to work in a team, they can share the dashboard between other teammates who are assigned in the NoodleTools. Finally, if you really want to become completely electronic, you can make comments on their bibliography if they share it with you through your NoodleTools Dropbox. Here's what a note card screen looks like. That's a bird's eye view in case some of them move off the screen so you can find any of the cards that might have moved. This is what a note card looks like when it starts. You want to put a title, but you want the title not necessarily to be the article title, but you want it to be a title that reminds you what the article is about. You're going to copy and paste here, specifically from the article, parts that you think are relevant to your research. And over here, you're going to paraphrase what you copied right there. This teaches them to paraphrase, and it also lets them see the work on the left side. And if they didn't answer all their questions or they had some thoughts about it, they could type those down at the bottom. If they wrote a note card without linking it to a source, they can link to the source right there. So when you finish a note card, it's waiting for you on the tabletop. In that red square, you would drag the note card that you just created onto the tabletop. If you want to make a pile, you can drag one note card onto another note card and create a title for that pile. Piles, if you want to think about them, are possible subtopics for an outline. You can build your outline on the fly as you're going, or you can create it before you take your notes. You can take the pile and or individual note cards and drag them into your outline under the topics that you've created and subtopics. And as you do that, it'll start to look like this, with cards under specific subtitles or titles. When you print your outline, you're going to hit the print button, and then you're going to choose the print option. Right now, I'm suggesting HTML because it comes out in a really nice format. But you could choose doc or RTF as well. You want to choose it with note cards, and the next screen that will pop up will allow you to choose which items you did use. In this case, I used source, URL, place numbers, quotations, paraphrases. And this is what it looks like. When you're done with your outline, you no longer have to go back and look at your article because everything is right in front of you, and writing the paper becomes a lot easier. Here's what students said. I never knew that NoodleTools could be so helpful. I had always thought it was just a website that helped you correctly cite sources. But now that I know that I can build an outline and note cards with just a click of a mouse, I am definitely going to use it more often. The NoodleTools outline and source cards was surprisingly helpful, and I do plan on using it again. I can imagine it would be very helpful with papers in college. NoodleTools helped me a lot in organizing my ideas for papers and presentations. And it was really helpful to be able to incorporate my quotes and sources right into my outline, and then just write around it. So I hope you consider using NoodleTools in your class. Thank you.